Hey guys, Sports Master VK4, welcome to our Forex team. As always, trading foreign exchange or margin carries a high level of risk and not be suitable for all investors. I ask you to read this disclaimer very carefully to understand all the risks associated with trading and margin. Seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Very, very quiet day today. Of course, no surprise. It's been essentially a holiday throughout half the world with Veterans Day or Armistice Day, the 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th year, commemorating World War I, which at that time people thought was going to be the worst war, and of course it wasn't. In any case, definitely a very quiet day. But what you did see today, which was kind of interesting, was a recuperation in the euro, which I think is very indicative of stronger trend to come. We talked about this on Friday that quite against all the conventional wisdom, euro was a buy on dips because it held this 33 level very, very strongly. And until and unless this 33 gets broken, euro still remains more of a buy than it is a sell. Having said this, though, we're now coming up into this very key 34.50 resistance level, and that's going to be a crucial test, I think, of just how big a recovery the euro is going to be able to see. So if we can punch our way up towards the 34.50s in either Asia or Europe, that's going to be a big tell as to whether they're going to start selling it back down and all the way through, or whether it's just going to consolidate and perhaps push through towards the final recovery zone here of 3,500, which would erase pretty much all of the ECB losses that we saw on Thursday and some of the NFP losses we saw on Friday. So quite interesting that euro comes back relatively well, and it's certainly coming back well on pretty much all the crosses. If you look at if you just look at the basic crosses, let's just take a look at the euro yen today. Was trading well, was up almost 100 points. Euro pound was up significantly throughout the day today. Look at that big comeback, 30, 45 points in euro pound is a very big day indeed. And euro Aussie certainly was a big trade today. Look at euro Aussie today. Came back up through the 43s, recovering. The 45 in the euro Aussie, obviously the big resistance level here. But for now, it's euro on the crosses that's kind of telling a pretty positive story. And until that story changes, the path of least resistance is to the upside as far as that goes. Dollar yen just kind of held its ground. The fact that it held above 99 is modestly positive, but we really need to see 99.50 broken. We basically need to break above that 99.50 to consolidate Friday's gains, to sort of erase and evaporate all of this double volatility that we saw on Thursday, and to basically put ourselves into a much stronger position for a possible rally towards the 100. So for now, mildly bullish, but the jury still remains out. We really don't have the kind of clear, definitive 99.50 hold that we need in order to feel confident that the dollar yen trade is a move to the upside. Pound was weak today, and I actually think this is going to be an interesting tell for the pound. Tomorrow we have the CPI data. It's going to be pretty much all UK data. There's absolutely nothing really of value in any of the other currencies this week. But given the fact there's going to be a lot of UK data, it's going to be an interesting show and tell as to whether the pound responds to positive data or whether the negative data kind of handicaps it all the way down to a break of the 59s. It certainly looks like the pound basically is constantly running out of gas at lower highs. So we've given up the highs over here. We petered out here at 61s, and now excuse me, this 59, which has been a very key support level, looks itching to be tested, and that's going to be a really key test. So it may take a couple of days, may not necessarily be tomorrow. But if we do test this and break it, it really opens up an unwind all the way out to the 57s on the pound. So worth watching, because that's going to probably impact not just the trade in the pound, but the trade in the euro pound, which continues now against almost all the conventional wisdom to start regenerating, going back up to the upside. Last, definitely not least, was Aussie, which was pretty horrid today, broke the 93.50s. We sort of held around there. And today is going to be an interesting tell as well, because if we get further liquidation, the really big support level here is going to be 93s. The shorts are certainly going to be eyeing that level. But Aussie is in a pretty significant sell-off, with the RBA signaling that it definitely wants the currency lower, and the data out of China really not giving it enough oomph, because the Chinese data is essentially in line to modestly better, not enough to really convince the market that the possibility of yet another rate cut is not off the table. It is very much on the table, and I think that kind of pressure keeps the Aussie much more of a sell than it is a buy at this point, with 93 clearly in play. So that's pretty much how it shapes up. Wish you guys the best of luck and the best of trading. Sports Schlossberg over and out.